I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So welcome to our June 12th Tiverton School Committee meeting. Is there anyone signed up for open forum? I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Mr. Rurick?
Yes, resignations, retirements, leave of absence. FMLA requests, Amy Donnelly Roche. Retirement guidance counselor, THS, Kathy Winston. Resignation school board clerk, Carolyn Mendes. Resignation yearbook advisor, Tiverton High School, Diane Lebrecq. Appointments, part-time lunch recess aide, Fort Barton, Sarah Canton. Spring summer curriculum SEL writers, Ann Tobin and Deb O'Hara. Spring summer curriculum mathematics writer, Karen Tumis. Custodian level 1 TMS, Alex Green. RTI facilitator, Tiverton High School, Lee Cusimano. RTI facilitator, Tiverton Middle School, Erica Perkins. RTI facilitator, Fort Barton, Christine Krause and Beth Kilborn. RTI facilitator at Picasset, Sue Cardoza. And RTI facilitators at Ranger, Sue Petrarca and Ginny Curtis. Correspondence, one is a letter that I wrote to Representative Edwards regarding housing aid. I asked that the General Assembly consider increasing our reimbursement rate to 35% for the elementary school projects that were constructed 10 years ago, and also a letter from the Smithfield School Department regarding contract continuation.
Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion.
Dr. Locke?
Yes, Mrs. Black.
Yes, I'd just like to thank Kathy Winston for all her years and all the students she touched through the years, and Carolyn for doing such a wonderful job as our clerk, and also our yearbook advisor. I'd just like to thank them for everything they did.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to move up items number 9, A, and B.
So moved.
All those in favor? Item 9A, recognize the members of the state champion THS tennis team.
Mr. Ashley?
Thank you.
I think so.
Yes. I'm going to try to fix this because I know the girls are here. If it's okay, I'd like to start with the softball team.
Sure.
Because most of the team is here. First, I'd like to call Coach Mello, who's in the back here. As I just say a few words, I know Coach Mello is going to want to speak to some of the specifics, but first, I just want to say to the team, we couldn't be more proud of you and your accomplishment. I know it was a bit of an unsure start to the season, but persevered, committed to excellence, and really had a strong finish to win the championship. So I want to first just give a round of applause to all the girls.
Thank you, Mr. Ashley. Yeah, I'd just like to echo the sentiments that Mr. Ashley said. It was really an unsure start with the kids. We're all mostly sophomores and freshmen on the varsity level. We did have a senior. And I think it kind of spoke to how young we were initially with the start of our season, but we really showed a lot of growth and a lot of development in the kids. And it was neat as a coach to be able to watch them grow and develop and really kind of bond and form as a team. And it was almost like a switch was formed towards the end of the season. We just kept winning, get more momentum. The kids got more confidence, and then they improved their skills along with the confidence. So come playoff time, they knew, we said, Coach, we got this, we're going to work hard, we got this. It's really just a testament to all the kids and their hard work and their character and all the time and effort they put in. I'm really very, very proud of each and every one of them.
So we'd just like to call each of you up and present you a certificate. Kayla Andrews. Emma Bogan. Marissa Cagle. Marie Bell. Abigail Forcier. Alexia Fournier. Emma Franklin. Savannah Goss. Mackenzie Kylie. Michaela Kurtz. Giovanna Patera. Lindsay Mons. Abigail Pullman. Ella Schneider. Margot Souza. Asha Taylor. Jamie Balfour. Anna Wall. And of course, we want to recognize Coach Mello. Congratulations. We also just want to recognize the other adults that assisted with the team. Mr. Bobby James Fournier, he's here. Anyone you want to take it up to? Ms. Kara Gilmore? And Ms. Rachel Andrews. So, congratulations. And I don't know, Ms. Delport, you want to do a quick photo? Sure.
No, you get in front. No, you get in front. You get in front.
He does look very good. Loves miniature.
Team. All right. Up. Bye-bye. Well done.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And now we have the tennis team.
Yes. So I also have the special privilege of recognizing our tennis team. At graduation, I spoke briefly in my remarks about the many accomplishments that our schools have this year. And of course, we couldn't speak to that point without recognizing our tennis team. I have to say, an undefeated tennis team. I'll call Coach Phillips up in a moment here, but just first a huge round of applause to our undefeated tennis team as we perform with Coach Phillips here.
Thank you for the invitation to come tonight. This is a two-year process. Last year, we lost to Narragansett in the state championship. This year, we had a little bit improved. As Mr. Cabral can testify, when he's driving up from the superintendent's office and he sees us out there and on March 15th and it's freezing cold and there's snow and you give us that wave, do me one favor next year, stop and let me get in and warm up. It was a cold season, but we started out with Narragansett, our number one opponent. We beat them and then continued on and went undefeated 17-0. It's the first state championship for the school in tennis. So I'd like to congratulate, I think there were 8 banners that are going to get put up into the gym because of this entire school year. As far as I know, I've been here quite a long time, there hasn't ever been another year where we put 8 banners up on the wall. So I think Mr. Murray is put the Tiverton High School forward to be the high school of the year in terms of sports. So we're looking forward to seeing if we can get that. So thank you very much.
So, of course, we'd like to call up and recognize you. And to begin, Zach Pacheco. Dylan Clark. Josh Story. Matt Gacia. Devin Guerrero. Will Brigham. Carson Hart. Ryan Ennis. Jake Valencourt. Danny Rose. Emma Phillips. Chad Guerrero. Dylan Guerrero. Jaden Hayden. And we also would like to recognize, I don't think Mr. Teeter is here. No. But Coach Lauren Teeter also assisted with Coach Phillips throughout the season, so we just like to recognize Coach. Of course, officially recognize Coach Phillips.
Well done, gentlemen. And lady. And lady.
Congratulations.
Actually, well done, lady. Gentlemen, so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, item 9B,
You need to go back to, you have 7 and 8.
Policy,
we moved up 9A and B.
so we've done that.
We've only done A.
Only did
We are
A.
now on 9B. The motion was to move
A
up
and B.
9B.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I can keep, okay. So, update from various parent organizations. I'm going to call on Ms. Christine Mello, PTC president first. Ms. Mello?
Middle school has ROTC 2 years ago. The then 7th grade had $7 in their account. As of April last year, without counting the final numbers for the dodgeball tournament and everything going out for 8th grade banquet and their 8th grade field trip, had over $2,000. So she brought it from $7 to over $2,000. So, and without her, honestly, like, 8th grade wouldn't have the 8th grade they had. So, Nancy's brought in almost $600. Our Minky Candle brought in $2,300. That gets split among all the grades. But I mean, we had 157 volunteer hours, not counting the hours for the 8th grade evening, which we haven't counted yet. But each class is going into next year with a pretty decent amount for field trips and whatever they want to fund. Any questions?
Okay, congratulations.
No, thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Michael Brigham from the Athletic Boosters, THS. Thank you.
I made a little copy of what we've done the past fiscal year. Over 18,000 hours. Various things that we try and focus on. The uniforms, we kind of touch base with one of these topics and identify some things. And then, I don't know, if any of you have been in the gym recently, we just installed a new kind of higher current people that we had some of the students, faculty kind of vote on. That's been installed. What we really do is we focus on, we have 2 big events each year. We try and focus on that. We have our golf tournament, and then in the fall, we're really trying to figure out a different venue. We have a comedy show. As opposed to trying to do little events all through the year, we just focus on 2 big things and get the parents involved. So this is where we've done over the past year, a lot of championships. Obviously, you're Coach Phil saying about a lot of championships we won this year. So we're covering all the jackets. We do a cost up to $50 for a jacket for a coach or athlete, and usually falls on the jacket.
Nice problem to have.
Yes.
That's good.
Very good.
That's about it. I mean, pretty straightforward.
Great job.
We've done over the past year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Holly Flanagan and Mr. Ken Carlisle for Tempo. Just Mr. Ken Carlisle for Tempo.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. If you don't know, I'm Tim Carlisle. I live at 55 Market Street. Got 3 kids in the school system right now, two at high school, 1 in middle school. And I'm here representing Temple before Temple Junior. I'm actually the treasurer for Temple Junior. So everything up here is going to be focused on. For the Temple, it's basically the same thing for both of the Temple organizations. It's a group of students and parents that meet probably on a monthly basis, or whatever required. And we just review all the band activities coming up. Same concerts coming up, and the parades coming up. We make sure that all of them are covered with chaperones and that kind of stuff. Anything that's needed for the kids, and we'll make sure that we got enough parents to cover all that stuff. We also review fundraising activities. Okay? So Dan's planning on going to Disney next year. So clearly wants to do as much fundraising as he can to reduce the cost of that. So we look at fundraising opportunities, discuss those, figure out what we're going to do, what we're not. And then we review big expenditures. There's a lot of expenditures that we just kind of pay out, but if we're going to do something major, we want something to do. Here's a quick breakdown of incoming funds this year. So 86% of the total funds for Temple Junior were acquired through the concert activities. So that's a combination of admissions, the raffle that we do, and all the concessions that we do. through fundraising. And that's just for the general account, not for the individual account. We have individual fundraisers where the kids, the more they do, the more they collect, then they get put into an individual account and we can use that to offset some of the expenditures. Some of our expenditures this year, so 65% of the total expenditures this year were actually for new equipment or equipment repair. Okay. Then we had some other things. We pick up the state fees, 516 state fees for the all state auditions. We pick up the fees, but the kids pick up their own audition fees. And we purchase some music. All of the groups have a budget. Let me go through that pretty quickly. So there are some additional costs that we pick up. We pick up some additional music that wasn't covered by that, and we also pick up some expenditures in the general music process. We also provide some financial aid for some of the 6th and 7th graders who participate in the festival. So some of the things we purchased this year, we purchased 3 grand for a new.
Those are expensive.
Tuba, and $1,400 for some majestic drums. We also purchased the whistles and kazoos and a few other percussion instruments for the chorus and for the bands. And some of the expenditures, so we repaired violins, flutes, trombones, tubas, and that Barry sax right there cost about $500 per year. So I mean, it's kind of a intricate piece of equipment. So if something goes wrong with it, it's kind of expensive to fix. And also we repaired the keyboard and the audio system for the chorus station. So, any questions?
Thank you for your time and support.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
Being a visual learner, I appreciate it.
Next, we have Mr. Stephen Schreiner from the Tiverton Middle School. Mr. Schreiner?
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Schreiner. I'm the art educator at Tiverton Middle School, one of the 2. Also the athletic director, cross-country coach, junior basketball coach, as well as right now the point man for our athletic coaches at the middle school. This year we had a successful fundraising year. Candy bar sales, first of all, starts at the beginning of the school year. Mrs. Beck actually we have getting that ball rolling on that. So we had 65 plus members on the cross-country team. We were able to generate a good amount of money through candy bar sales for the cross-country team. And then I moved on to both boys and girls basketball team and also gave them candy bars to sell as well. So we generated roughly around $1,500 off of the candy bar sales. I also run concessions and ticket sales at our home basketball meets. That also went through Unified Basketball. So with that being said, we generated a good amount of money as well. And then our biggest go-getter this year was the newly named David Fresh Memorial Student versus Teacher basketball game that was held not too long ago. Boosters made roughly around $1,500, and we also donated about $300 to the First Scholarship Fund after that successful evening. Also like to thank Mrs. Mitchell, Paul Massive, and Stacey Deldale for organizing and getting that up and running. On top of that, Boosters ran Tiverton athletic apparel for the school, which is ongoing, so we're constantly making some extra money off of that. Booster purchases this year, I wound up purchasing 60 new cross-country uniforms for this coming season. Cross-country also hosted its very first home meet this year. And because of Boosters, I was able to buy a standing clock for the finish line, as well as flags and cones at the finish line. We're looking to purchase, moving forward at the start of this year, new uniforms for both girls and boys basketball team. As well as I'd like to start putting some of that money to sprucing up our gym a little bit. So So all in all, I think our boosters did a pretty good job. I'm always looking for extra members to join the team and continue pushing athletics at the middle school. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
And we're going to have someone from Pocasset as well. Mr. Dakotas, is that you? And Miss Jocelyn.
Thank you. It's okay.
And my communications assistant, my
Thank you.
passing out a summary of our year. I didn't want to read from that, but just highlight some of our more exciting things. We had a great year. We were able to finally install our buddy bench thanks to the help of DPW, and that has been well utilized from what I understand. We've had many fantastic family fun nights. We had the Islands basketball team come by for an assembly on anti-bullying. That's pretty exciting. They gave all the students tickets and shirts, and we went to a game there. We had our second annual snowflake ball, which is so well attended. It's such a fun night. And all of our family fun nights are free admission. We try to encourage free admission with a non-perishable food donation. Everybody can get in. And through that effort, we raised a lot of, we collected a lot to donate to the pantry. So that was really nice for the kids to see. We've done a decent amount of fundraising. I don't have a breakdown, or I should say a total for the whole year. Our most recent event was our second annual color run, and we raised close to $9,000 with that effort. So it was such a fun day, and our families really pulled together. And then box tops. We get a little cut through in the north end of town with our box tops, and I'm proud to say that our school was 5th in the state for box tops. We pulled in over $2,000 just for box tops alone. So
Great.
pretty competitive. This is my last year at Pocasset, so I'm sure they'll probably raise $3,000 next year because it's pretty intense. But all in all, we've had a great year. We have so many wonderful parents involved, and we've supported Classroom for Fest, Field Trip for Fest, flexible seating, pretty much what the teachers need. We try to support as best we can. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone we have missed? Well, we did everyone who had signed up. So if there's anyone else who'd like to come to the podium and speak on behalf of one of the school organizations.
We have Fort Barton.
We do have Fort Barton. Oh,
Lauren is here.
okay. That's why I asked.
So I'm Sarah St. Lawrence. This is Sarah. We're co-presidents of Fort Barton's PTO. First off, I'm super nervous, and I've gotten away with not speaking in public for my whole life. So this is the first. So,
Isn't that why you brought your friend?
So in general, yeah, we would love very much. So things we've done this year, we've tried to do a couple of different things. Sarah Gerlach was our president last year. She did amazing with all her fundraising. We just want to try new things because it was like a lot of the same. We want to kind of jump out of the box, bring a lot more of community to our school, more so than fundraising this year. We did participate in the parade float for participating in the parade. We did a back-to-school picnic back in September to welcome kindergarten parents and kind of get them involved with the other parents and try to build a community that way. I run the book fair. I did both fairs this year, which were really, really well. We would buy every teacher in the school get a book for their classroom. We hosted a glow party instead of a Halloween party, which ended up turning out to be a lot of fun. It was a little crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
Here's the holiday shop, and we usually do the holiday shop during the school day, but this year we changed it up and we did it on a Saturday and invited families, and Santa came, which was, I think was a big success. It was a little different, changed up. The talent show, we just brought back the Fort Barton talent show this year.
That hasn't been done since I was in school, probably. We just posted our color run. Thank you, Jocelyn and Mike, for all the help because we couldn't have done it without support from another school, which is amazing. I asked for The color run did amazing for us, and we haven't gotten our final totals back. We didn't do quite as well as Tacasset did, but we probably profited almost $6,000, which was a good win for our school. Because I don't
Do that for my mortgage.
ever more than 2,000 at a time.
That's good.
That's
very good.
Strong for us, and we're looking to do a lot. Basically, we've been trying to help fund more field trips, lots of staff things. We tried to do a first day of school breakfast for the teachers. We bought gift cards for every teacher in the school for the first week of school so they could buy supplies whenever they needed.
We'll be hosting Field Day, which is a huge event on this coming Friday, which will bring in, the kids will love that. And Box Tops wasn't as cutthroat as but we did very well. We had incentives this year on one Box Tops pencils, which was a huge hit, and that was the last one. And then this one that's upcoming, we did extra recess, which the kids are going to love. The kindergarten house one this year. So then that is all we have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We just wanted to make sure our community grows a little bit better. And we have probably had the most volunteers we've ever had yesterday when we had our
We
public.
did that.
40 plus volunteers. We've
That
never,
was nice.
ever had that much, and it's just amazing to see a bigger community grow in our schools.
Great, thank you. Yeah, please. Can I ask a question?
Last master.
Okay.
Can I just, I just want to thank the groups for coming in tonight, that you may or may not have wanted to do this, but I want to give you as much press as we possibly can, because without you, we wouldn't have these all-important partnerships with parents. I'd love to see us continue to grow in these activities, the boosters, the PTOs. They really are the true partners for our faculty and staff. You guys are the ones there supporting us and supporting our teachers and supporting your own children as well as everyone else's. And I just can't say enough for everything you're doing. You've all become so active, and it's a wonderful thing, and I hope it continues next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Anyone else for? Okay. So now we can move to item 7, policy development revisions and review, transgender and gender nonconforming students policy number 1183, first reading. Any
Yes,
discussion? Yep, go ahead.
The state of Rhode Island, the Department of Ed, I should say, is requiring all districts to have a transgender, gender nonconforming policy in effect by July 1st of this year. You have the first draft that the policy subcommittee and I have been working on, and we're submitting for review.
Any discussion?
I have just a question. Sir, was this policy written from scratch, or did we take some of it from state policy or other districts?
We took the majority, well, all of it came out of the guidance that the Department of Ed gave us. We talked to Attorney Robinson's and BEMA, and they recommended that we not build it from scratch and just take,
Because they had it.
Okay.
Yeah.
the pertinent pieces out of the guidance model they gave us
Okay.
and put it into the policy.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Number 8, Old Business Charter Review Commission. Mrs. Black?
Yes,
hesitate to-
Yes, I've been,
I'm afraid of what you're going to say next.
well, I did pass out the recent top 20 that they've come down to.
Tell us next, I should say.
But that's still a draft, okay, the top 20. They're still working on it. They had a meeting last night, and the important meeting for everyone to go to is next Wednesday. They're going to have a meeting with the town council, and they're going to talk about all these charter review issues at that meeting, so that'll be a very important meeting. But last night, I went to the town council meeting because I'm their liaison, then I jumped in the car and went to this one. And when I walked in, they had just passed a 1219. So I didn't know what it was because I didn't hear what they were voting on. So at the end of the meeting, I went up to Mr. Karam, because he's the one that proposed it, and I said, could I please have a copy of 1219? because we've been asking them to look at 1218 since they passed it all those years ago, the one that we can't talk and do different things. And this 1219 has just possibly ramped that one up, so I made a copy and passed it out to everyone. And we can review this one, and Mr. Eric's going to send it tomorrow to Mr. Robinson, and along with everything else, but this one's very important for the schools. Okay, so I just gave it to you tonight because I just got it last night. So you'll have time to review it. But that meeting's very important next Wednesday.
Wednesday, 7 p.m.
At the town hall with the town council, where they'll review all the charter review ones that they want to bring forward, and they'll discuss it. Okay?
Have they talked about the public hearing yet?
No, because the town council will have a public hearing, and so might the charter review, so they haven't decided yet when that will be. Okay.
They have to be done by July 17th, correct?
This commission does, but they don't have to send the language up until August for the state, to go on the ballot. The date will be in August, the final date.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Item 9C, request approval to create an additional first grade teaching position. Mr. Rurick?
Yes. Yes, I'm making the request because as of Friday, we had 143 students scheduled that are scheduled to be enrolled in in first grade next year. That's 5 over our enrollment cap, so we're already 5 over for that grade level, and we normally get over the summer. The majority of our registrations are younger students, usually grades K through 2, specifically K1. So I would like permission to create the additional first grade class, which would be held at Ranger School.
Ranger.
At Ranger, if it was approved, if approved.
I make that motion.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Sure.
Where will we get the funds to support that position?
We will either have money in our fund balance that we end the year with, and/or we'll need to find it in the operational budget for next year.
What's the approximate cost for a position?
A position like that would cost approximately $75,000-$80,000 for a full-time position with benefits. I mean, it might be a little less. It depends who we hire and their experience level, but the benefit package runs, healthcare runs $20,000 alone for just if it's a family health insurance policy. Obviously, if they don't need a family plan, it's half that. But with benefits and everything, that's about $80,000. So good ballpark.
There could be a possibility that this would turn into a bubble class. If
This
the,
would be.
if the enrollment
We already
stays.
have a bubble class this year, and a bubble
Yeah.
class means we have one additional. We have 2 sections at each grade level in K through 4. Right now, we have a bubble class in first grade at Pecasset. That will now be a bubble class grade 2 next year. And then this would be a bubble class for grade 1 for next year as well. So we would have 2 bubble classes for next year. And this is, I think, just the precursor, and it's been discussed here before. Part of it is that we have all-day K now, and so we catch the kids early, and we hold on to them. Once the parents start their children in school, they usually don't move them out after kindergarten. And I think also you have more people moving into town. We've talked about the 800 houses that are in the queue to be built. This is the second year in a row now that we would be creating a bubble class, and hopefully it's not a trend, but it's something that moving forward the committee needs to keep
And we've been
a close
talking
eye on.
about this for years, and Mr. Perry isn't there. He's on the planning board, and he's been sharing his information with us. And Rhode Island lost population, but we're one of the only towns that grew. There were only 7, and we're one of them because we're so amazing. Of course, that's why. So, but we do know this. We've talked about this for years.
Can I ask a question, though? I looked at RIDE data today, and our October enrollment for first grade was 146, which is actually 3 more than what you're saying now.
Well,
I'm
first
trying to-
grade for this year
Yeah.
is our second grade for next year,
So that's the bubble that's going up,
to grade 2.
and now you're
You look-
making permanent This
You-
class?
You would need to look at kindergarten numbers for this year, and we have 143 right now in first grade, in kindergarten, ready to go up to first grade.
So the 146 that was there this year is supported by how many classes?
This year, it's supported by 5. I'm sorry, 7, excuse me, 7.
So that 7 will be the second grade
Yes.
size next
And then
year?
we'll be creating the 7th
There'll be
section
a-
in grade 1.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? So there's a motion that has been seconded. Any, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next item, this was brought to my attention after we did our security drills in the spring. The PA system here at the high school in this area in the library and the hallways does not work, does not function properly. So I'm asking to go out to bid so that we can have that repaired for the start of the school year and hopefully have it ready for September.
I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do you have a guesstimate?
As far as cost? Mike, is Mr. Mendes here?
Yes.
Mike, we get an estimate on this one?
Yes, we did. I don't remember the number. It was like $15,000.
It was well over the $5,000 threshold, otherwise we would have done the work.
Yeah, you just came because of that.
Does that mean you're thinking other buildings are going to need it too?
Building should be all set, because I know middle school has speakers everywhere in the hallway. This is the only building that doesn't, believe it or not. And being a high school and everything going on in this world, I think it should have.
So this request would give us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they would fix them in here and then install them. I don't know why they didn't, but,
But it's important that it's a safety measure.
well, we need it as
For
part of our
safety.
safety plan.
Yeah, you have to know.
This is just going out to bid.
Never mind just for basic communication
No, but-
purposes.
So it's not
Safety.
just fixing it, though, it's
No,
expanding it?
it's installing it
Okay.
and fixing it here.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Okay, 9G.
I'm sorry, E?
E?
E,
I'm
that's what I
sorry.
meant.
I'm asking,
Sometimes E
I'm
and G
requesting,
move around a bit.
requesting approval to go out to bid to install a much-needed handicap ramp near the flagpole entrance, and also to repair some of our damaged curbing here at the high school, and also to cut out the curb at the main entrance here, so people that are handicapped can, that whether you're on crutches or in a wheelchair, you can just access the main entrance much easier.
Because right now, we still only have.
Right now, we're compliant, but you
Yeah,
have to,
258.
right, you have to
that
go down at that far
corridor.
entrance.
Okay.
Okay,
That was
I'll
my
make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Can I just say that last night I talked to the gentleman from Church Community Housing, and they do have money for certain sections of the town, and I told him since all the kids come here, we should be eligible for some of that money. So he said to make sure we connect with him next year when they're making the plan for the town to put our things in, and we'll get some money from them, because this should be paying for this kind of thing, for the voters to come in, because they need to come in. And when I was standing out there all day, I saw a little tiny pole sticking up. Must have been a sign at one time that was knocked down. So I covered it with my sneakers so no one would trip, but everybody was safe. But I think
Was it a
this
gold
is-
sneaker?
It was, there was. It's hanging on my porch, by the way, just to go off key a little. My winning sneakers are hanging, and my son said, please don't do that, and we know why. The sneakers are hanging on my porch.
No, I
I
agree.
waited a long time for that.
Enough said on that.
Waited a long time.
So, who was it you were speaking with who has money to do this?
What?
We should
Church
be-
Community Housing, the town every year
Community Housing.
puts things forward that they'll pay for.
Okay.
But it has to be certain neighborhoods in the town
Okay.
only qualify. But since all the kids come to the school.
Yeah.
And all the people come to vote. Now,
Right.
don't forget, on that FTR, the whole town comes here.
Right.
So he said definitely we would qualify. So that's good to know. Okay, so we have to remind him.
Right.
I-
Any other discussion?
Yeah, the only thing I want to add is, the high school we have all kinds of athletic events, band concerts,
Oh,
drama
everything. Oh, it's
productions,
amazing.
all these community meetings. We just had a hearing for the casino in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ramp, the curbs are in terrible condition. I can't back this more. I think also, once we do work on the parking lot this summer, I'd like to see sufficient, and that's not where we are now, handicap parking places in spots that make sense.
Yeah.
I think the spots that we have now, I don't know what the thinking was, but they need to be closer to the doors. They
Yeah.
need to be accessible not only for community events, but for students who need them, from teachers who may need them. And I think it's just so important, and now's the time that we're doing
get
this
this
law.
done.
It's time to
Yeah.
do it.
How was their location determined, do you know? In
No
the
idea.
student parking lot?
No,
They're up against the fence, so you
They've
can
been
go to
there-
the
they've
football
been
game.
there
They
for-
are, but I was wondering,
been
was
there
it because
for
more
the
for athletic
longest.
events?
Put against the fence for the sporting events.
Yeah.
That's why they had, we put all those in.
We can, obviously, we have the spaces, we just would have to co-opt them that are nearest the,
And I think the
flagpole.
administration lot, too.
and they need to be
They're in the
reversed.
corner.
They need
Over
to be-
there.
Far
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
door.
They're gonna move those.
Yeah.
He's gonna move those.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that will all be done.
Okay.
Great.
All those in favor? All right. 9F?
Yes, I'm submitting a request for approval for a Tiverton High School student to graduate early.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? 9G?
I'm seeking school committee approval of the appointment of department heads, which have been recommended by Mr. Ashley, and I've approved his recommendation and seeking school committee approval.
I make that motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Would you like me to?
Yes,
identify
please, now that it's been approved.
English department, Sarah Cabral. Fine arts and careers, Judy Moore. Guidance, Lisa Borges. Math, Nancy Carrero. PE health, Matt McGuire. Science, James Saunders. Social studies, Andy Gaychuk. Special education, Barbara DeSantis. And world language, Francis Mello.
Thank you to all for being willing to take on that
Yes,
responsibility.
thank you very much for coming forward.
Okay, 9H through I.
Yes, for 9H and 9I is a request from Dr. Dias Mitchell to seek a Champlin grant in the amount of $100,000 for computer hardware and software purchases, and she identified them in the memo that I provided to you, as well as the annual legislative grant for $3,000 to assist our athletic teams.
I make that motion and thank Lori Dias Mitchell for putting that forward. Thank you very much.
Second.
Are we taking up also the Cyber Patriots grant application at the same
I
time?
was going to do that
Separately?
because it came separate.
Okay,
It didn't come from Dr. Dias Mitchell, that's why.
okay. All those in favor? Okay.
And the third grant request is from Mrs. Delcourt, a request to seek a $2,000 grant from Northrop Grumman Foundation for the Cyber Patriot High School team.
I make that motion.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Thank you.
All those in favor? Announcements?
Could I just ask an agenda
We can
question?
do it right now, 10. So we're actually on 10, so announcements, scheduled meeting, so this is an appropriate time for each of you to ask your questions. Alphabetically, you go first.
Just, are we going to need to schedule another meeting before June 30th to have the second reading of the transgender policy?
Tentatively, we booked a couple months ago, or a month and a half ago, June 19th.
Right.
As a possible short meeting.
Tuesday.
To approve the second reading, and hopefully the bids close tomorrow at 10 a.m. For the AM daycare program. Hopefully we will, as of this afternoon, we hadn't received any packets, but sometimes they come in the day they're due. And if we get a bid or bids, we will review them and have a recommendation for you on the 19th as well.
So they close tomorrow?
Close tomorrow. at
So if we
10.
don't get any bids, we will not be having that meeting?
We need the meeting,
For the
well,
policy.
you don't need to meet on the 19th, but you do need a second meeting to approve the second reading, so you have the transgender policy in place by July 1st.
Right. So right now, we normally would have met
On
on
the
26th. Did we cancel that meeting? No.
You didn't, but you
We're
wanted me
tentatively
here,
thinking.
because I won't,
He won't be
Right.
here.
22nd's my last day.
Yeah.
So if there was questions about the AM
Right,
program.
that's why we wanted it on the 19th.
That's why we did the
All right.
19th.
So we will,
But if we
So-
don't have the bid, again, it's kind of like.
we have no
what if,
bids, then then
you
we can just
go
have
to
the 26th.
26th and just-
Okay.
And then do the
Just
policy.
do the
So
policy then.
we'll figure that out.
Okay.
I will let you know tomorrow afternoon,
Yeah.
whether or not, or tomorrow morning,
Okay,
if we get them.
all right. And then I believe we had agreed to go to is it the 24th of July?
Is that what we're going to do for July?
Actually, I had not yet heard from Dr. Sanquioni, so that's still tabled.
I'm all
Okay.
set with whatever you need to do.
Okay.
So mind it.
Okay, I have a request for, if we don't have that June 19th meeting, it can definitely go to the meeting in July, but I don't want it to go beyond that. I would like a breakdown of all the non-certified positions, not only Council 94, but any position that's not a certified position. I would like job descriptions and qualifications for each of those positions.
What's the agenda item?
Well, it would be non-certified positions, job descriptions / qualifications. I want to see the job descriptions for each of those positions, and I know we don't have job descriptions for all of them, because we've been through this before, and the qualifications that you need to fill the positions. If you need to have a degree of some sort, or a certification, I want that included in the packet with the description of that position.
You just want the information, or is there
No, I just want the information, however many jobs there are. If there are 10 jobs that are not, and I'm making that number up, but if there are 10 jobs that are not certified positions, not teaching positions, not administrative positions, call Council 94 positions, but then we have some positions that are not Council 94, but they're not certified positions. I want the job descriptions for those positions, and I want the qualifications
So-
you need to fill the positions.
So, just so I'm clear, you don't want Council 90, because they're not
I
certified.
do want Council
You do,
94,
all right.
and then anyone else
For
that's not.
just so you know, Mrs. Byrne and I are in the process of developing and in some cases, we simply don't have up-to-date.
And I know that.
Job descriptions, just so
But I-
everyone understands.
Before too long, I want them. I've put this on hold mostly all year, but I feel that now is the time that it needs to be done.
I guess I'm still not quite understanding. So the agenda item is just to,
Is
description of all
non-certified
the-
positions, job descriptions, qualifications / qualifications.
Are you-
What are the jobs? Secretary, I'm just throwing that out
but
there.
I guess my question is, what do you want the committee to do with it? Just sort of
I
acknowledge
want-
it, or have the
Yeah, I
information? or-
would like to go through it. I would like to see if we are following.
Okay.
We do have a policy, but I'm not sure.
I mean, that's something that that the administration could give you without necessarily having an agenda item. I have no objection to discussing, I just want to know what we're discussing. I mean, so your
Yeah,
request is for information, and sure.
Right, but I want the
Get the
information to
information.
go to all of us. I want the information to be out there. I want people to know that when they come here, this is what you have to have. Do we have it? Does every person that's employed by this district have what they need? I mean,
So I guess maybe I'll ask the question a different way. What's the problem we're trying to fix here? Is there a problem that we're trying to fix?
I just want the information. I want to see the information, but I don't want it to just come to me. I want it
Okay.
to come to the entire board.
Okay. Now that that's all clear, okay. Any other announcements or issues about scheduling meetings?
I do have one, and I just want to publicly thank Mr. Ashley and Mr. Mendes and all of the staff who worked so hard, I'm sure, to bring the class of 2018, the outdoor graduation that they so badly wanted. You pulled it off flawlessly. It could not have gone any better, and I want to thank you so, so much.
Very good job.
It's a team effort. And, I'm not sure I would use flawless, but it's a true team effort.
Way to get the weather to cooperate.
Little Rock, yes.
All right. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Yes, motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor?